Welcome, Pewter Report readers, viewers, and listeners to a brand new edition of the Pewter Report podcast brought to you by our friends over at Briar Greaves Insurance. Protecting your assets starts with a company that you can count on. So whether it's auto, homeowners, flood boaters, or business insurance, there's nobody better in the business to work with than the great people over at Briar Greaves Insurance. For more information about them, visit their website, briargreavesinsurance.com, or give them a call at 813-876-4166. That's 813-876-4166. And make sure you give them a call, because if you dial up Briar Greaves Insurance, have a conversation with them, and see how they can help you and your insurance needs, you will automatically be entered into a raffle to win tickets in the lower bowl section to the Bucs-Falcons game in December. It's a Thursday night game, and it's the Creamsicle game as well. And if you didn't notice, this Bucs team is pretty good. So get entered into that raffle by giving Briar Greaves Insurance a call. It is a Pewter post-game show, and we are talking about yet another Bucs win, a fantastic defensive performance by this team. Anthony Nelson having a career game, a Nelly with a pick six as the Bucs stifled the New Orleans Saints by a score of 23-3 and go into the bye week with a 6-2 record. So a lot to talk about on tonight's post-game show. I'm your host, Matt Matera. Joined with me is the face that runs the place at PewterReport.com, SR, Scott Reynolds. Scott, how are we feeling after this Bucs win?
Whoa, Nelly.
That's right.
That was something else, right? I mean, I tweeted out during the game, and again, no disrespect to Hassan Reddick, but I mean, Anthony Nelson, first of all, let's just say it proper. NFC Defensive Player of the Week, Anthony Nelson. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what a stat line. He did more in a half than Hassan Reddick had done in half a season for the Buccaneers in terms of splash plays. I mean, the pick six was incredible.
Awesome.
He had the forced fumble on that first Saints drive to end that. 2 sacks in the game. Was an absolute menace the whole time. And I'm telling you, like, Bailey Adams, we have to give a hat tip to our own Bailey Adams because he wrote a great story. He's awful proud of it. And I was proud of him, too. It was a great read. If you haven't read it, it's still good. It's still valid. It's actually a little bit of a Nostradamus effect because Bailey Adams was talking about all these splash plays. I'd forgotten some of them, these big plays that Anthony Nelson has made in this game and that game and this year and that year. And boy, did he make some plays today for the New Orleans Saints. Easily his best game as a pro. Very impactful game because he got the Bucs' first touchdown on the board.
Yes.
And really, that's all that they needed at the end of the day.
Ultimately, it was only allowing 3 points to the New Orleans Saints, made them change their quarterback because the Bucs defense was doing so well. Also, fantastic celebration. He put the football through the legs and then dumped it into the hoop that was made by Vita Vea. An awesome play all around. And Anthony Nelson is a guy, he's all hustle, he's all heart. I kind of like what Todd Bowles said after the game. He's like, listen, he's not going to be known as this like athletic specimen or anything like that, but you can sprint from a yard away and get a defensive touchdown.
He's not going to get caught.
I don't know how to explain it, but there are some players in this league, and really in sports in general, where opportunity just finds them. And you look at like last season when he forced the fumble against Chuba Hubbard against the Carolina Panthers, he gets an opportunity to start today because Hassan Reddick is out. And Larry Foote spoke during the week, the co-defensive coordinator, about opportunity. And he was kind of talking about it with Chris Braswell, but it was Anthony Nelson that took full advantage of this opportunity with Hassan Reddick out. You made a perfect point about Anthony Nelson doing more in a half than, you know, what Hassan Reddick has really done this entire season. The first drive, he forces a fumble. The interception, which was great too, because we saw that with Yaya Diaby against the Seahawks, where pretty much same situation, back of their own end zone, tipped the pass, wasn't able to hold on to it and catch it. He catches it, Anthony Nelson, shoves Spencer Rattler out of the way, and
posterized him like a hooper, right? It was
absolutely. So just a great high effort play by Anthony Nelson across the board. Continued to cause chaos in the backfield as well. Only 2 sacks, but was getting a lot of pressure on New Orleans quarterbacks. Just a great effort and a job well done by this defense. I know the Saints aren't, they're a 1-win team. They don't have a high-profile offense, but what more could you ask the defense to do? You know, only 3 points, and that pretty much happened because of the turnover by Baker Mayfield on the fumble. you can't ask for much more from this defense. Hey, don't allow points. Okay, got it.
That's right. How refreshing is it, Matt and Pewter people? I'm talking to everybody here, to see this defense kind of share that superhero cape after having the offense have to wear it literally game in and game out last year, right? But for the defense to say, hey, we got this today. Offense, you're struggling. That's fine. We got this. And to be able to get the sacks, 5 sacks today, and to get 4 turnovers on the Saints offense was just phenomenal, right? Plus a couple of 4th down stops, turnover on downs as well. So just a fantastic job by Todd Bowles. We're seeing the splash plays this year that we didn't see last year from this unit. The interceptions, the forced fumbles, the sacks are coming in bunches now. This is really good and exciting to see. This has to be a complimentary football season because there's so many injuries, and now it's more skewed injury-wise to the offensive side of the field, where last year it was, the linebacker position, the safeties, the cornerbacks, etc. And now we're seeing that. But if you'll allow me, Matt, I've got to get something off my chest.
Please,
and
please.
And in full disclosure, I will let the Pewter people know that yours truly did have a $5 prop bet on an anytime touchdown by who? Antoine Winfield Jr. Yep. NFL officials cost me $255. And you know what? I'm pissed off about that for me. I cleaned up in this game. Don't feel bad for me too much because I cleaned up on my prop bets for this game. And I also had the Buccaneers with the points. But for Antoine Winfield Jr. to get absolutely effing robbed, not just once, but twice by these absolutely horrific calls by NFL officials where there's absolutely no accountability. None. No accountability. No. It pisses me off as someone who's covered this sport for 3 decades. It pisses me off as a fan of this sport for almost 50 years of my life. Started watching football as probably 4 or 5. But to see Antoine Winfield Jr. have 2 touchdowns taken off the board because these jackasses don't know, did we blow the whistle? Do we not blow the whistle? Is it a down play? What are we doing? It's absolutely moronic. It has to stop. It absolutely has to stop. These officials are killing this game. They're absolutely killing it because these guys can't get their heads out of their asses. And you know what? Here's the chain reaction. Buccaneers won this game, no problem. You know what? Yeah. You put 2 defensive touchdowns and a fumble recovery, for Antoine Winfield Jr., it should have been a pick 6 on his football card. Guess what? He's going to the Pro Bowl. He's winning NFC Defensive Player of the Week, not Anthony Nelson, right? Okay. And what does a Pro Bowl mean? Well, he's already gotten robbed of 1 Pro Bowl, okay, by the NFL. He made the All-Pro team, but he's been robbed for that. Well, how do you make the Hall of Fame? They count up your Pro Bowls. Do you have a ring? Oh, you got a ring. Good. How many Pro Bowls you have? How many stats do you have, right? You don't think all those defensive touchdowns helped Rondé Barber get into the Hall of Fame? Mm-hmm. So these officials, not just costing fans like me money or players like Antoine Winfield Jr., maybe that has some contract incentives, right, for defensive touchdowns. I don't know. I don't have a copy of his contract. But, Matt, this is detrimental to the game because it can absolutely hurt the seasonal statistics and accolades that Winfield gets, but also could harm his potential Hall of Fame career. And it's Antoine Winfield Jr. today. Who's it going to be tomorrow? All right. I'm sick and tired of the inadvertent whistle. Okay. I just let the players play, right? And then let the instant replay sort it out if they can. Sorry.
Preach, Scott. Preach. I absolutely love what you are saying. I could not agree with you more. It is asinine. It's disgusting. It's honestly disgusting. It's malpractice.
It is.
Malfeasance what these referees are doing week in and week out. And as you mentioned earlier, there's no accountability. The league will never step in.
No.
And all they do is protect the refs.
Yes.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
And
if you criticize him, if you're Todd Bowles, if you're Antoine Winfield Jr. and you criticize the officials, you get fined.
Exactly.
Absolute bull crap.
That's going to be my next point, is that the players and the coaches can't even defend themselves.
Yes, exactly.
podcast, they're taking money out of their pocket, just like they took money out of your pocket on the Antoine Winfield Jr. touchdown.
Exactly.
So there's nobody is holding them to a high standard. We can bitch about it on social media all we want. Roger Goodell's just going to laugh and say, we're going to put a game in Antarctica next year and make $1 billion off of that. It's BS that they're part-time. Make them full-time, and throughout the whole damn week, watch game after game after game. Make the calls
exactly
the same way in every single game. I don't care who's
Preach,
playing.
Matt. Preach.
There's got to be a way. I hate going into games being like, well, this crew, they call a lot of penalties, but this crew, they kind of let it play. Why is it like that?
Exactly.
Let it be the same way, or as much as you possibly can make it the same way.
Yeah.
And I was so confused with what was going on because, like, I'm doing the game day show. I don't have the volume on. At first, I'm thinking, like, okay, there was an inadvertent whistle. There should never be an inadvertent whistle.
I know.
I don't care if the game gets extended by a damn hour.
Yes.
Make sure you get the calls right on the field.
Exactly.
This is the first time, not even with the Bucs, just in general, where you think the play is done and you blow the whistle right away. It's like, actually, he would have had a pick six or a forced fumble or whatever the case may be. But nope, we blew the whistle too early, and therefore.
And then you know what? Here's the thing, Matt. They said it was an inadvertent whistle. Then Fox actually plays the replay again, and guess what? There wasn't a whistle.
Yeah,
you can't hear a whistle. Okay, the announcers shut up and they just let the play roll, right? And you hear the crowd, and there's no whistle. There's no whistle. So they lied about it. Okay, I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to make sure I don't get myself in trouble here. We saw what happened last week with the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if this Department of Justice comes knocking on some NFL doors as well.
Why not?
I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. If it's happening in the NBA, damn right it could be happening in the NFL. And if it is,
it can't be ruled out.
Absolutely. And if it is, shame on who's ever doing it, who's ever guilty. Lock them up because this is atrocious.
And then, even Todd Bowles, again, he's not going to say anything that's going to get him fined because I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to get fined and lose thousands and thousands of dollars for saying, I don't know, the truth.
Yeah.
So he honestly was just befuddled. He's like, I don't even really have an answer. And I don't blame him. Like,
he was pissed, though.
Like, what is Todd Bowles supposed to do? Like, yell and scream? And
exactly.
Nothing's going to happen. And, okay, there'll be a pool reporter after that says, hey, why did you F this up? And then they're going to have a stupid excuse. And I don't know. There's no right answer to it, but referees are the worst in all sports.
Yeah.
It's really hurting the game, and the Bucs were able to overcome it.
Right.
It did lead to the only points for New Orleans because the Bucs, at first I'm like, okay, well, it's either a defensive touchdown or they're just calling it incomplete. That's what I thought at first, like, oh, they're calling it incomplete. In what world is it, oh, hey, you got the turnover, but it's not going to be a touchdown? I was so confused by that.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
It was awful.
This is what gets me. Okay. What if Antoine Winfield Jr. makes a diving interception? This isn't college, right? If he just made a diving interception, he can get up and run with it, correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay, that's established. So if he literally takes the ball away from the receiver, was it Rashid Shaheed that had caught the ball?
Yes.
Okay. So if he literally, and he had his hands on the ball, not really around Shaheed, he was literally going for the ball and pried it loose. And then by the time he had possession of it solely, by the time he had possession of it, he had rolled away from Shaheed. Shaheed did not touch him.
Right.
And then he gets up and runs, and they're blowing the play dead. Like, what moron would do that? like you're an absolute moron, dude, if you're doing that. Like these guys need to be fired. Seriously.
I know.
Is this the best the NFL can get?
Right.
These part-time ass clowns who but blow phantom whistle calls and just don't even know the rules?
Right.
It's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke.
I read this. I hope it's true. I saw it on social media. But in college football, I want to say 2 weeks ago, Georgia was playing Auburn. And Kirby Smart, the Georgia head coach, was calling a timeout. And then was like, no, I wasn't calling a timeout. I had read that ref got suspended for making that mistake. I don't know if that was true or not. I hope it's true.
Right.
Something like that should happen with these referees. Either suspend referees. I don't know, demote them.
Just fire them on the spot. Like, hey, man, guess what? Here's the thing. If you're a kicker and you miss enough kicks, like if you're Younghoe Koo, right? Regardless of what you've done for Atlanta, you miss some kicks, you're fired, dude. You're gone, right? Do the same thing in season with these officials. Hold them accountable. There's no accountability. Would they get like little demerits and, oh, you don't make the playoff squad this year because you weren't good enough during the season? They don't get fired. It's a joke. Hezo 813 says, I think it's more incompetence than anything scandalous. You know what, Hezo? You might be right, but either way, it's criminal.
Not that Hezo's right, but sad
either way, it's criminal.
That the refs are terrible.
Yeah,
and that overshadowed a lot of things. It was still a legacy game for Anthony Nelson and a great game, but it kind of overshadows too the fact that Antoine Winfield Jr. had a fantastic performance today.
Yes.
And this safety duo, like last week, we were talking a lot about Tyke Smith, and understandably so. Tyke Smith's been great. He had another really good game today.
Yep.
I think he finished with 8 tackles, had that pass breakup on fourth down. But Antoine Winfield Jr. was kind of like, hey, don't forget about me. I'm still your all-pro safety, and at one time was the highest paid defensive back in the league. Certainly not like a coming out party by any means for Antoine Winfield Jr., but he was absolutely everywhere today. Between him and Tyke Smith, they have arguably the best safety duo in the league. And Jamel Dean with another forced fumble, having a career year himself. I thought Zion was pretty good. Benjamin Morrison got cooked on that one route. I shouldn't say cooked, but got beat on that one route that the QB overthrew Rashid Shaheed. But overall, I thought Benjamin Morrison was fine when he was in the game. Jacob Parrish hopefully isn't too banged up. But he, like, the secondary today was really, really good. And the Saints do have talent at wide receiver. Olave, to me, is a really good receiver. Unfortunately, he gets hurt a lot. Shaheed is like that downfield threat that has hurt teams before. So refs aside, a great performance by this Bucs defense, particularly Antoine Winfield Jr. And really the whole secondary. They deserve a hat tip, a round of applause, all that stuff, because it was well done by them. And then also, the linebackers, Levante, double-digit tackles, and a nice bounce-back performance from Servassier Dennis as well.
He was solid. He had a sack in the game.
To me, Servassier Dennis is kind of like the stock exchange. Like, it's one day it's like, hey, everything's good, stock is going up, and then bam, it plummets, and then it goes up again. So right now, the stock market's looking good for Servassier Dennis, but it will be a week-to-week thing for him.
You're exactly right, and it was great to see Levante get back in the takeaway game with another fumble recovery early on. I think he's done that 20 times now in his Buccaneer career. It's just incredible. He's got over 30 forced fumbles, but he's such a ball magnet. It's either he forces them or he recovers them, or sometimes he does both. So, tremendous day. 5 sacks for the Buccaneers. I love when games end on sacks too. It's such a happy moment for me as a defensive-minded guy. Marquise Watts and Logan Hall split a sack. So here's a number for you guys. 15 different Buccaneers have at least half a sack this year. 15. Cool. Okay, that's the most ever by a Todd Bowles defense in Tampa Bay. He's done that 2 other years. I forget which years they were, but I mean, we're at 15. Logan Hall got half a sack. Marquise Watts got half a sack, so they're in there with half a sack. C.J. Brewer last week, so it's pretty cool when the whole gang gets involved in these sacks. And now we've seen Jacob Parrish get another sack, Servassier Dennis with another sack, Anthony Nelson with 2 more. Some of these guys recently got their first sack of the season, so now they're kind of coming on. All of a sudden, Yahya Diaby sitting there with 4, and he's like, "Oh, I got some people hot on my trail." So, but really good performance by the defense. Let's talk about the offense. Or if you have something else to say, Matt.
I just want to add real quick that this Bucs team, it was never going to be one guy kind of dominating and getting the high number of sacks. It was always going to be kind of a group committee effort, and I think that was perfectly on display in this game.
We talked about Anthony Nelson. If he's not the NFC Defensive Player of the Week, you're doing it wrong, NFL. I mean, he has to be the NFC Defensive Player of the Week after this one-man gang performance. But I listen, Chase McLaughlin's got my vote. When you're 3 of 3 from beyond 54 yards, or whatever it was, all 3 kicks were deep money kicks by Money McLaughlin, who's really had a bounce-back season after some miscues early on. And he's 8 for 8 now from beyond 50. I mean, that's his specialty. So he is such a weapon. And on a day where the offense struggled, and listen, Baker Mayfield, and we talked about this on the Pewter pregame show, myself and Josh Capo. Baker Mayfield's hurt. And Matt, you were out there on Friday's practice. So he was limited on Wednesday, full participant on Thursday. And then what was he on Friday? Limited, right? He's got an oblique. He's got a knee. We saw him move around gingerly. We saw him probably not even try to escape some sacks today because
Yeah.
I think he's limited mobility-wise. Tristan Wirfs, and we love Tristan, friend of the program, but man, did he have a rough day. He got whipped by Chase Young more times than I thought was possible. Young had a sack and a half and a forced fumble. He also had 2 false starts. So, man, Chase Young was Tristan Wirfs' kryptonite today.
Yeah, it's just so surprising because we obviously hold Tristan to such an extremely high regard because he is, the best offensive tackle in the league. So certainly surprising. Definitely he will be enjoying the bye week, probably just staying off his feet and
Yes.
letting his knee heal
Yeah.
a little bit more. I'm not overly alarmed by the performance by Tristan Wirfs today. I'm definitely way more alarmed about Graham Barton, what he's got going on at center.
He's getting bowled over, man, way too much. Your center, where's that picture I just had? Your center should not be on the ground as much as he was today, as much as he's been this season, if I'm being honest.
When we see Ben Bredeson have a good game at center the first 3 games of the season, I get that the Bucs are adamant about not wanting to do it, but I do think there might be a little bit of hope with this bye week coming up because that's when you do the self-scouting, the self-assessment. I really think Todd Bowles, Josh Grizzard, Kevin Carberry, I think they got to have a real serious conversation about Graham Barton at center. I think he'd be great at guard. I honestly think
he's a Pro Bowl guard.
The idea of like snapping, doing your assignments, and calling out other assignments, it might be a little bit too much for him. And he's a smart guy and he's a hard worker and stuff like that. But I don't know. At this point, it seems better for the team to have Graham Barton at guard versus center. And we saw him look at a tackle, and he's not going to be playing tackle, obviously, but we saw him look good at another position on the offensive line. Yeah. And then, of course, Dan Feeney got the start at guard today as well. But Baker, to get back to him, I do worry at times. Just remembering, like his last year in Cleveland, he played through a torn labrum and stuff like that. And Baker's not at the point where it's like, hey, you're costing the team more by playing not healthy versus just like not being in there at all. But yeah, I mean, part of what has made Baker Mayfield kind of Superman this year at times is his crazy scrambles, extending plays, and stuff like that. Yeah. And I thought it was good on Josh Grizzard in that second half. They got him out of the pocket because he's just not able to escape right now.
Right.
But to see him get out of the pocket, throw on the run, I'm sure they want to do that a little bit more, but with kind of a little bit less mobility, you can only kind of pick the right times to go after those shots. So, hopefully Baker can really heal up because if he's not at 100%, no one's really 100% in football, but if he's not going to be able to hold up, I don't really know how far this team can go. And that can be said for like every team in their starting quarterback, but a lot is on the shoulders of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I remember when Ali Marpet played center for a year, and he wasn't bad. He was above average, but he was a better guard. Yeah. And if you remember on draft day, when they drafted Graham Barton, who was a Bucs best bet, at the interior offensive line, and the first words out of my mouth were, because they needed a left guard to replace Luke Gedeke, who was at right tackle, was, oh, they got their guard, And then we hear Jason Light come out and say, oh, he's going to play center. I'm like, really? Okay. All right.
Sure.
I did that for a couple games at Duke as a freshman, right? But I don't know, man. I think the Pro Bowl athleticism and ability are there.
Right.
But even Ali Marpet, as great of a guard as he was, as great of an interior offensive lineman as he was, like he was just not that good as a center. He was a C+, B- center, and he was an A- guard.
Right.
It's just the truth. And I don't think there's anything wrong in saying that. And it's like, okay, like again, Luke Gedeke was drafted to be a guard, right? And it didn't work out. And that's okay because you still got a starter. He's a right tackle. So there's no and the fact that Ben Bredeson has played center and I think played pretty damn well the beginning of the season, I mean, you got nothing to lose, man. Just mix them up, switch them around.
And played well at center against some tough opponents, too. Yeah. Like the Falcons, I know, are a mess right now. Yeah. They lost the Dolphins today. But the Falcons have a good defense for the most part. And Houston has arguably the best defense in the league. And then the Jets are what they are.
Yeah.
But, Quentin Williams is one of the best defensive tackles in the league. And Ben Bredeson had to go up against him. So I would highly consider making that move, after the bye week. And they have 3 tough opponents coming out of that bye, starting with the New England Patriots, because they also got to find a way to get a damn yard at the goal line.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
the Bucs, what was that, 5 plays on the goal line because there's the
Yeah.
offsides penalty, could not punch it in from a yard, 2 yards out.
Yep.
And then when they got the touchdown on the 4th and goal the next time on the Sean
Yeah.
Tucker touchdown, they had got stopped on 2nd and goal. So it was
Yeah.
really 6 times they couldn't get a yard. Also, they ran it with Rachaad White on a 3rd and 2 earlier in the game, was not able to get that as well. I look at it in 2 different ways. One, like, just suck it up and get the damn yard. You know, like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel of, hey, block your guy a little bit further and get the extra yard.
Yeah.
I don't mind them running it 4 times and getting stuffed all 4 times. I don't mind them running it. The issue that I take, and I guess this is kind of on Josh Grizzard, is they ran the same type of running play every single time. And we saw them have success against Seattle, pitching it to the outside with Rachaad White, riding Tristan Wirfs and getting into the end zone.
Well, Sean Tucker scored a touchdown last week just on the same thing. That's
what I was going to say next, against the 49ers.
Or against the 49ers,
Tucker cut to the outside. He scored the touchdown. I understand you want to commit to the run. They certainly committed to the run today. And I'm fine running it 4 times. But why run the same play up the gut time after time after time? Especially, you had plenty of examples where it didn't work. And then they finally get the touchdown on 4th and goal, which he barely got the touchdown.
I know.
Tucker. I didn't like the passing plays as well at the goal line.
I agree. Kool-Aid McKinstry almost had 2 interceptions.
The fade to Sterling Shepard, just listen, that's a Mike Evans play. That's not Sterling Shepard.
He's 5'10", man. He's 32
If you
years
want to
old.
run that with Emeka Egbuka, on the fade to the back of the end zone, fine. And then the other passing play, like Baker forced it, that could have easily been intercepted as well. You're cutting off all of the field just to have Egbuka go one-on-one. I didn't love that, but ultimately they did score. It's certainly the offense has some stuff to work out right now. And I don't want to be too negative because the Bucs won by 20 points today.
Correct.
But today was all about the defense. The offense has some stuff to figure out. It's kind of 2 games in a row where they didn't really have their best effort. But as we said, bye week's coming at the right time. I think Josh Grizzard's got a lot of scouting and self-scouting to do this week.
Yeah, here's my thing. If you don't get it in with 13 personnel on the first 2 plays, you scrap that. Because all you're doing with 13 is you're just creating this big, huge mosh pit, right? Everybody's in tight. You're trying to create a hole, and really there's 0 splits because the defense is packed in tight. You're forcing that by going to 13 personnel, even with the wing back, right? So I don't like that. If you can't power it in the first couple of times in 13, then you need to get out of it, spread them out with 4 wide, okay? And when you do that, when you put 4 wide, you go 2 and 2. Get the receivers out there too. Screw the tight ends. Get 4 receivers on the field, okay? And spread them out. And I mean, like, put 2 receivers literally by the sidelines, but the other 2, like, right next to them, not even in the slot. And they have to put guys out there. You're taking 4 guys out of the box right there, okay? And then what you're doing is you're telling your running back, hey, break 1 tackle, right? Make 1 guy miss, break a tackle. The math's kind of been our favor at that point in time. And you got to have a safety or 2 in there to prevent the slant, especially down at the 1 yard line. That's an easy gimme throw with an inside release by a receiver. So you're running into a much lighter box at that point in time. And I was just screaming for Josh Grizzard to like spread him out, and just and let a big body like Rachaad White or a fast running back like Sean Tucker just zip off tackle or find a running lane inside. In that way, you're not having these defensive linemen just submarine the offensive line and creating a logjam, because that's what was happening is one guy would get submarined by a defensive tackle, and all of a sudden Rashad or Sean or whoever is just bouncing into the pile and there's no hole. Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully this is a lesson learned by Josh Grizzard, but it looked very Dave Canales-like to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good point. I would say 2 positives for the offense. Taz Johnson had a pretty good day.
He did.
The leading receiver and receiving yards, 5 catches for 43 yards. Had a bad drop, but he is showing that he can pick up the slack and be that wide receiver too. He got absolutely clobbered as well on a play, but made a great catch to get a first down. I was thinking, like, he is the lightest player in the league. He's going to get smoked on some hits just based on his overall size. And then a lot of talk this week about getting Sean Tucker more involved.
They did.
He showed a lot of juice.
Yeah.
I thought he was way more explosive than Rachaad White. And granted, Rachaad White kind of got banged up earlier in the game, but like what I saw from Sean Tucker today. And it was cool seeing Josh Williams get in the mix as well. Came back from the concussion, played his college football at LSU, and gets a couple of running plays in the Bayou. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It was good to see Tuck rip off a couple of explosive runs. I wish that they would have used him on some more outside zone or some more plays to get him outside. I wasn't a fan of the interior runs, that especially in the second half, when I mean it's pretty obvious you're sitting on a lead, you're just trying to milk the clock. The clock is your enemy at that point in time. But let's show a little bit more creativity and get some breakaway runs that do more than just pad the stats. They also kind of break the will, right? And that's what we saw from the Saints defense last year. Their will was broken in the second half when the Bucs dropped that 50 burger on them. And of course, the 50 points didn't come till later in the game. But to me, I think that the play calling was not up to snuff today. The execution, the offensive line was putrid. And listen, when Tristan Wirfs, your best offensive lineman, is stinking up the joint, it's just not your day. But you know what? At the end of the day, this team needed to get to the bye. They did what was necessary. They got the win. And more importantly, Matt, you look at the standings. The Falcons look like absolute crap today. The Bills look like they made the Panthers look like absolute crap today on their home field.
Yeah.
Both of the Saints the Saints, the Falcons, and Panthers all lost on their home turf today. The Buccaneers
all got their ass kicked.
They really did. They really did. And the Buccaneers just gained ground in the NFC South. They just separated themselves even more. So a job well done. 6-2. It's tied for the best start in team history.
Yeah.
And that's a good place to be.
Absolutely. And the defense looks great. I'm confident the Bucs will figure it out and turn it around on the offense. So yeah, good spot for Tampa Bay. 6-2 going into the bye. I think every Bucs fan would sign up for that. And it gives them a little bit of cushion as well, not just in the standings, but with these next 3 games being really tough. You obviously want to win them all, but they do have a little margin for error, if they're not able to win all 3 of those games.
A great day for the Bucs. Not so good day for the Bulls yesterday, though. USF Bulls lost a heartbreaker in Memphis, gave up a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. Nico Gramatica missed a 52-yard field goal. Some bad game management there towards the end, but the Bulls are still a good team. They have 2 losses now, 1 to Memphis, 1 to Miami. Still in position for a great season, still can win their conference and potentially, depending on what happens ahead of them, they got to win out now, but there might be an argument for them being a playoff team. We'll see. But they do play again at versus UTSA at Raymond James Stadium. It's the Salute to Service game Thursday night, November 6th, 7:30 p.m. So in 2 weeks, the Bulls return home to play at Ray J. Scan that QR code to purchase your tickets. I was there for the USF FAU game. Great turnout, great atmosphere. It's great to see more and more Bulls fans and Tampa Bay fans coming out to support the Bulls.
Yeah, make sure you support your local team. Fun team. Tough loss yesterday, but definitely a fun team to watch. Let's get to these super chats. Appreciate each and every one of you for rocking with us this evening. We'll start with Virgin Boys. Thanks for the $9.99 super chat. Says, so proud of this defense besides the horrible calls by the refs. Baker's definitely hurt and needs the bye. Missed Ibuka wide open in the end zone again for the second straight week. That is true. Yeah, there was that deep shot to Ibuka. Ibuka was open too. Credit to Alante Taylor as well for being able to catch up and make a nice play. But if it's a perfect throw by Baker, it's a touchdown for Tampa Bay. And I know Ibuka was going through a little bit of that, the hamstring injury, but he's been a little quiet the past couple of weeks, really since he kind of went out in the second half of that Niners game. So
I'll say this. We mentioned it on the Pewter pregame show, when you have an oblique injury and you're a quarterback and you're opening up your arm and you're torquing and stuff, the ball's not going to always go where you want it to go. And it seemed like there was not enough oomph on that pass. And it could have been a touchdown, maybe without that oblique injury. Maybe it is a touchdown. We'll see.
Yeah. The Real Maverick, thank you for the $4.99, says, Nelly set the tone. Just what this team needed to get to the bye, bounce back from the loss, and go 6-2 into the bye. Atlanta and Carolina both lost as well. They didn't just lose. They got, like, smoked.
Yes.
Like, absolutely smoked.
Yeah.
So I like this comment from Ed Gain, who says, Saints 3 and Nelson 7. That's right. Anthony Nelson outscored the New Orleans Saints single-handedly today. Paul Morales, thanks for the $4.99 super chat, says, we have done what we are supposed to have done heading into the bye. Absolutely. Any game that the Bucs were, like, considered a favorite in, they've won. They've beaten some good teams as well. And sure, like, everyone predicted the Bucs were going to beat the Saints. They never let the Saints into the game. I know it was 7-3 at halftime, but it never felt close. It felt more like, hey, the Bucs are getting screwed. The Bucs are getting robbed. That's exactly what happened. But, you know, once it became 14-3, I never had a feeling New Orleans was going to get back into the game. Yeah. That's just how great the defense was. And, you know, it was an 11-point lead. It felt like a, 40-point lead.
Yeah.
So.
And when they made the switch from Spencer Rattler to Tyler Shuck, my first thought was, oh, good, fresh meat.
Yeah.
Wasn't afraid of the rookie coming in and lighting up the Bucs. I was like, okay, now it's your turn, right? And you got picked and you got sacked. So, yeah, it was more of the same.
Jamie Miles, thank you for the $2 super chat, says, offense has to be better. Ain't sucking. Love to see it.
Yep.
Agreed on all accounts. I think the offense will pick it up, especially like when Gedeke and hopefully Godwin and hopefully Bucky come back. We got to remember they are missing some key pieces. And Saints are in a tough spot. Older
really
team, their rookie class isn't that good, and they don't really have a quarterback. So
we're not going to play the whole thing, but I just think that this probably deserves one more little play. We'll play a couple seconds of it. What is the Bucs' biggest rival in the NFC South? I know you want to go undefeated.
I hate the Saints. I hate the Saints.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
And why is that? Embellish, please. Give us some reasoning.
Oh, I mean, it's almost a compliment to them. I mean, I like some people that work there. I like Mickey Loomis. I always enjoy talking to him at the owners' meetings, and got some other really good friends on their staff. But I just, for some reason, I just can't wait to beat their ass. It's and they're always tough. They're a tough team.
Yeah, well, they beat their ass today.
Yeah, I'm sure Jason Light's very happy right now. I'm sure he's very happy.
No doubt.
Malcolm Harvey, thank you for this $4.99 super chat, says, I hope we got Bucky and/or Chris Godwin Jr. after the bye. Offense looked terrible today.
Yep.
It was bad in the first half. I mean, they didn't score any points on offense in the first half. I will say, you obviously want field goals over touchdowns. They did pretty much score on every drive. Goals. Yeah, sorry. You want touchdowns over field goals, of course. Yeah. They pretty much scored on every drive in the second half, except for when Teddy Bridgewater came in the game.
Yeah.
So. But, they're clearly it's not spectacular.
Yep, agreed.
Jamie Miles, thanks for the $2 super chat, says Nelly going full Matumbo. Nelly going full Matumbo on the rattle.
Yeah. I mean, that's like going up for the rebound, right? And then just, slamming it and just posterizing somebody. Yeah. Like he just posterized Spencer Rattler. You'd love to see it. That was so good.
One of the better plays you can make on a pick six is pushing someone out of the way at the same time. So
I agree.
Paul, aka OG Baker Bro, thank you for this.
Yeah, there we go.
Chat says Anthony Nelson appreciation super chat. Absolutely, game of his career.
Yep.
Paul, aka OG Baker Bro, with another $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Says wondering if Wirf's knee is still problematic.
It's probably not going to be 100% until the offseason, right? Because he had surgery and then he rehabbed, right? But then you don't have that rest. You don't have that like normalcy period. You're rehabbing and like, okay, let's get it ready to go, right? You're working out and all this. And listen, the bye week's going to do everybody some good, right? Yeah. Everybody, the players that aren't even really injured, they're just tired and beat up a little bit. It's going to help everybody. It comes at the perfect time for this team to rest up, get some healthy bodies back, for the coaches to get in there, self-scout, as you talked about, Matt. It's going to be a really critical situation because, and I'm writing about this in my 2-point conversion. Don't look now. You got a 6-2 New England Patriots team.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Really
coming
good.
into Ray J. 6-2. I don't know if all Buccaneer fans realize that. Mike Vrabel, Drake May, that defense, they're getting the job done. They're 6-2.
Yeah.
And they're coming into Ray J. Then you got to go to Buffalo and play Josh Allen, and they whipped up on the Panthers today. And then after that, you got to go out to the Rams, out to LA, and play them. So you got 3 tough games right out of the bye week. Boom, boom, boom. And if you're Tampa Bay, you got to go, I think, 2-1 down that stretch if you really want to make some noise. And one of those wins better be out in LA against an NFC team like the Rams.
They've been a team that have had the Bucs numbers over the year,
Yeah.
especially since Todd Bowles has been around. I like this comment from Super Spicy Bucs Memes, who says, shadow boxing right now, listening to Scott's speech. Just wanted to give that a shout out.
Appreciate that.
TJ Smith, thanks for the $4.99 super chat, says, how often does a ref get fired for doing a bad job? I'm genuinely curious.
Not often enough, to be honest. And I mean, listen, I understand it's hard, right? It's hard. Like when I was a defensive coordinator in Pop Warner, it's hard to sit there with one set of eyes and look at 11 kids and make sure they're doing the right thing. You can't do that. And it's like you have other refs on the field, other officials that like you're watching the line play, right? Somebody else has got the secondary. So you're only watching like what's in your vision there.
Yeah.
It's not like, you have to watch every single play and all that, but it's just the mistakes that these guys make on the regular, and they're massive mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
It just, and like you said, Matt, I think you said it fantastic. There needs to be full-time officiating where these guys all kind of come together to where you don't know which crew you're going to get. Meaning, well, this crew throws flags every other play.
Right.
This crew lets them play. There should just be continuity and consistency to where it's just like, yeah, here's the crew this week, and we expect the same level of competency as we got last week or the week before.
And I get it. They're human. But there's a difference between making a mistake and just being downright awful. And every single week, it feels like every single game, not just Bucs games, there's ridiculous situations where we could be sitting at home and being like, that's not right. That's not right. And if we're able to see it, how are they not able to see it? I just don't understand it. Kyle Miller with $1.99 super chat. Thank you. Says, preach, Scott. Talking about your referee rant from earlier. Paul Morales, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, last year we had NFC Player of the Week offensively. This year it will be NFC Player of the Week defensively. Yeah, I actually mentioned that on the Game Day show. I thought it was funny because like last year with Sean Tucker, like no one saw that coming. Like a player you wouldn't win Player of the Week, and then this year it's hopefully happening with Anthony Nelson. We're like, if you're going to pick anyone in the Bucs starting lineup on defense to win Defensive Player of the Week, you're not going Anthony Nelson,
right?
The hero of the game. So
yeah,
it is funny how that works. And then also, again, not to bring up a sore subject, but if Winfield does get one of those defensive touchdowns, especially on the scoop and score, that would have been 2 years in a row in New Orleans that he had a defensive touchdown on a recovered fumble.
And I won $255 last year on Winfield scooping and scoring.
Yeah, that's
right. I didn't win it this year, and he had 2. We got robbed, Matt. We got robbed.
Yeah. I wonder too, because we always used to do the Vita Vea bet when he'd be on the goal line.
I know.
Is there more of a reason to get Vita Vea in the goal line package? Is they're getting stuffed from the one? No.
Maybe.
Oh, interesting. Paul, aka OG Baker Bro, thank you for this $5 super chat. Says constant and league-wide questionable officiating raises a red flag about the integrity of the game. Look at the NBA. This is a serious issue.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a big-time NBA official.
Yeah, Tim Donaghy.
Yeah, he got popped, and we've seen a head coach in the NBA and a couple of players get popped as well by the FBI. I'm just saying, I'm not accusing the NFL of doing anything, but would it surprise me if the DOJ starts chasing down some of these leads with mob ties and all this, the mafia? If they were to delve into the world of the NFL, it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me a bit, because there's a lot of questionable stuff happening.
For sure. And the NFL sent out a memo to coaches and players this week, coming off the heels of all of the NBA stuff.
Yeah.
You should be sent to the refs as well. If they can find out where these refs are. They're part-time. So.
Right.
TJ Smith, thank you for this $4.99 super chat. says national media needs segments every week on the worst calls / refs and call them out by name as well. We need accountability. Every week the Bucs get screwed.
Yeah.
I would love for a segment like this.
Totally
Problem
agree.
is, everybody today has the mind of a goldfish. So we're angry about the refs right now.
Right.
In about an hour, Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love will throw a 60-yard touchdown pass. And everyone's go, whoa, that's amazing. Isn't football the best? And then we forget all about the refs. So
I'm going to call Trevor Sikkema Pro Football Focus and see if they can't grade the officials. Let's just do that, shall we?
I love that idea. Yeah. That's fantastic. Wellesley, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says Shohei Ohtani betting, NBA coaches and players betting, NFL officials hold my beer. I mean, it's not going to go away if they keep screwing up the way they're screwing up.
Nope.
It's not like they missed a holding penalty. You know, we're talking about what could have been a crucial moment.
Yeah.
Like now that'll forever be taken out of the Antoine Winfield Jr. highlight package.
I know.
It's time with the Bucs.
Yep. Sad.
TJ Smith, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Says, can we get AI to officiate our games instead? I have no idea how that would work, but I'm open to all options right now.
Me too. Let's find somebody other than these ass clowns to do a better job.
Spinks, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, has the NFLPA demanded ref accountability during negotiations? And
It's a great question.
Why?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to do the rant again, but again, it's like, you know, when you look at the long-term trajectory of Antoine Winfield Jr., like those 2 defensive touchdowns, and I think he got robbed twice. I'm just saying it. I think you agree. That would have robbed him of NFC Defensive Player of the Week, which would in turn helped his Pro Bowl candidacy this year, which in turn, another year's worth of Pro Bowl numbers, and then he's making a Hall of Fame case. So this one game, these horrible calls, just they affect a player's career, his earnings, his legacy, everything. It's catastrophic. It's horrible. Nobody likes it.
Yeah, like we say, oh, it's an entertainment league.
Yeah,
and Antoine Winfield Jr. scoop and score in a pick six. It's pretty damn entertaining.
That's right. Well said, Matt.
Trustin Vorbeck, thank you for this $9.99 super chat. Says the refs were celebrating Halloween as the 3 blind mice. That is a classic Halloween costume, the blind ref.
Yep.
Missed my bets today, Maddie. Not always a big day, but I have a Sunday night football special parlay.
There we go.
Go Bucs and go Pewter Report. Thanks for the super chat, Trustin. Hope you win your parlay.
Yeah.
Steelers Packers about to kick off in just a moment. So hopefully you win big. Paul, aka OG Baker Bro, thanks for the $2 super chat. Says SR F-bomb appreciation super chat. 100% correct.
I tried to censor myself. I kind of got half of it out, but you know,
I think there are times where an F-bomb is warranted on the show. And
if Bruce Arians could do it during a press conference, I can do it on the Pewter Report podcast, right?
Yeah, I mean,
we make the rules, don't we, Matt?
Right. I mean, Bruce Arians cussing is like having a fish in water. It's just it's like every other word.
It's also music to my ears. I miss Bruce's pressers for sure.
For sure. Yes, that's true. Christopher Oxentine, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says excellent and correct rant. SR Mark Cook would be proud. Happy birthday, Cookie.
Oh man, happy birthday, Cookie. Wow.
Yes, happy birthday in heaven to Mark Cook. Did not realize it was his birthday today. I know his birthday is in October. Yeah, and he shared the same birthday as his girlfriend Daisy. So happy birthday to Daisy.
Happy birthday, Cookie. Boy, you imagine him on the podcast.
Oh my God,
he would have taken my rant to a whole new level.
Yeah, I mean he has some of the best rants of all time. Happy birthday to Mark Cook. We miss him and try to bring him up on the show a good amount. So Rich Buck, thank you for the $19.99 super chat. Says SR appreciation ... epic rant.
Well, I appreciate that. It was not rehearsed or scripted. I just had some pent up frustrations. I think I blew my wife's eardrums out because again, I'm just saying, like, I did have a prop bet. I had skin in the game. I had $255 on the line, but forget and forgive that for a second. I just feel bad for Antoine Winfield Jr. More so than anything. I mean, that just what an epic performance that he was literally robbed of. It was criminal.
Might be one of the few things that could actually take a smile off the face of Antoine Winfield Jr. He's always smiling.
Exactly. Yes.
Tyler Lovell, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says Phantom Whistle and Phantom Contact robbed Antoine Winfield Jr. of 2 touchdowns. Absolutely.
The ghouls and the ghosts arrived early. They're supposed to come on Halloween, but those phantoms showed up today in New Orleans. So, yeah, well said, Tyler.
The Winfield Jr. screw job is what they're calling it.
Yes.
The Real Maverick, thank you for this $1.99 super chat. Says, thanks for the rant, SR. We are all feeling it. Yes, there are a lot of Bucs fans that were unhappy about it, and rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yep. And if you missed the rant, if you missed the rant, you can go back and watch it. The minute this show is over, it'll be on Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel, so you can check it out. It was early in the show. So,
Zap Ranikin, thanks for the $5 super chat. Says, did we do enough for Jason Light to consider making trades?
I don't know. I don't know. I got to think about that. I'll have an answer tomorrow. Guess what? Victory Podcast tomorrow.
Yes.
Victory Podcast returns on Victory Monday at 4 o'clock tomorrow right here on Pewter Report TV. So make sure you tune in and watch that show. We'll have more on this. We'll have another press conference with Todd Bowles, maybe after he goes back and actually watches these Antoine Winfield Jr. denied touchdowns that he might have some more to say about it. So we'll see.
Definitely, yeah. Always enjoy a good Victory Monday.
Yep.
And if Anthony Nelson continues to play like he did today, it makes it a little bit easier with the outside linebacker situation. Yep. Eric Moreno, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, is Jacob Parrish going to be okay after the bye week?
I hope so. He's got an oblique injury, and we've seen that kind of sideline Christian Izzian, but then we've seen Baker Mayfield play through it. So there is that. I do know that at least the last time I talked to Jacob Parrish, I'll be seeing him in Manhattan. He's flying out to Manhattan for the Kansas State Texas Tech game. I'll be at that game as well. Went out there with my son Logan to see my daughter Ellie out there at K-State. And but then, Todd Bowles was asked today about the injury situation, any players coming back after the bye. He's like, too early to tell. But there is one thing for sure. We do have the injury reports and all the injury news on pewterreport.com, our website. And all of that is presented by our friends over at Jorgensen Law Firm.
Welcome to Jorgensen Law PA, where our family's legacy drives us to fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury, workers' compensation, and Social Security, we're committed to winning for you. No fees unless we succeed. Trust in our family to help yours. Let's achieve justice together.
That's right. If you are looking for legal representation, you need to know that the Jorgensen brothers, Spencer and Grady, are huge Pewter Report and Tampa Bay fans. They are the champions of the injured and disabled. With an office over there in St. Petersburg, Florida, they're nearby, and you can get a free case evaluation and no fees until they win. That's right. No fees until they win. Give them a call at 727-347-7733. That's 727-347-7733, Jorgensen Law PA. Or visit them on the web at jorgensenlawoffice.com.
Moving along with the super chats. Thank you to Jonathan DeCruz for this $9.99 super chat.
Thank you.
Says a horrible fake whistle in the Giants-Eagles game that cost the Giants a fumble recovery. Yeah, it's happening every week in multiple games. Glad we made it to the bye week. Go Bucs. To me, that's a huge issue as well. Like, yes, we see it up close and personal when the Bucs get screwed over, whether it was the stupid review thing on Monday against the Lions and then everything that happened today against the Saints. But they're happening in big moments across the league. So,
I almost wish that the officials would just, knowing that there is instant replay, that there's going to be a booth challenge, a league challenge, a red flag thrown by one of the head coaches. Just if the ball's on the ground, just like let it ride, right? I'd almost rather do that, because what happens is if there is a scoop and score or an untouched player who literally caught an interception and got up and ran for a touchdown, if that is let to stand, you can go back and watch. Was the player down? Oh yeah, he was touchdown. So there you go. Or but with the inadvertent whistle, there's no remedy for that, right?
Yes.
If the officials say, hey, I blew the whistle inadvertently, there's no remedy for that. And honestly, I think there should be. I think the league should sit there and say, because honestly, we want justice. Do the right thing. The right thing was, hey, I blew the whistle. You know what? And we went back and looked, and nobody stopped running. Everyone was running after Winfield. And so it didn't really inhibit or hinder the play. So we're going to give him a touchdown. I just don't understand that.
They should have like weekly awards too, like offensive, defensive, and special teams player of the week. Have a ref of the week. Highlight good officiating.
Exactly.
And then obviously the NFL would never do this, but have the worst ref of the week. Have something
agree.
like that too.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Sometimes
public shaming. I love it.
Sometimes bullying is necessary. That's all I'm trying to say.
Right.
Eric Moreno, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says a Buca jersey came in yesterday. That's awesome. Hope you're rocking often. He's looking to have a great career in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
LDBC's Most Wanted. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, saludos. How do you guys grade Grizzard? These last 2 weeks have been rough. Hoping with Gedeke, Irving, and Godwin coming back, we can figure it out. Cheers.
Yeah. I'd say good and bad, certainly, for Josh Grizzard. It's always better to learn lessons from wins than losses, right? Here's the thing. I can't fault Josh Grizzard for the play calls necessarily down there. Do I wish there was a little bit more imagination or creativity in the runs? Yeah. But honestly, the play call is get an effing yard. Yeah. That's what it is. It's get an effing yard, right? And you have a all-pro left tackle. You got a first-round center, right? You got a $7 million guard. You got some options there. I know Charlie Heck's over there and Dan Feeney's there, and you got some tight ends. But, man, you need a yard. That's not on the OC. That's on the that's not even on the offensive line coach. That's on the offensive line, the dudes in the game.
Yeah.
And if you can't get a yard, if it takes you 8 tries to get a yard, it's on you, man. It's not on the OC. It's on the offensive line. And they sucked in that situation, and they deserve to be called out. And no matter what we say about them, they feel even worse because they lost the man card battle right there. They got it taken away by the Saints until that last 4th down where Sean Tucker barely gets in. But yeah, not a good look by the offensive line at all.
Yeah, definitely valid points. I would say for the whole season right now, I'd probably give Josh Grizzard a B, but today specifically, and all the points you made are true, but I would still give him like a C- today. I didn't love the passing plays at the goal line. Again, don't mind them passing it, but
not those.
The specific play call I didn't like.
Yeah.
Henry Gigante, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, this is the worst officiating I have ever seen in the 15 years I've watched the NFL. This is only going to hurt the game.
I know.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the thing. It's like, how long first of all, how old are you, Matt? Tell the people.
I am 32.
Okay. How long have you been watching the NFL? Like how many years? When did you first become an NFL fan?
Probably over 20 years now.
Okay.
Over since I was like 5.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So at least 20 years, right? I've been an NFL fan for probably at least close to 50 years. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the next generation? What about the young kids that are watching this sport, right? And not the little kids because they're like, oh, football and big plays and stuff. But I mean, the kids that are like can conceptualize things and kids that know like, hey, that's a terrible call, or why was that roughing the passer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have an opportunity if this nonsense continues to just. And the NFL is all about growing your fan base. They're looking for NFL fans overseas now. Well, okay, but like at some point in time, if your product becomes non-reputable, like you're going to stunt your growth, and I would hate to see that. And it's these easy layup calls that are missed that really piss off fans. And you throw fantasy football into the mix and people betting on sports now and betting on the NFL, and you have NFL teams. It used to be a big no-no. Like, oh, the Buccaneers for years couldn't have Seminole Hard Rock Casino or any other gambling entity, anywhere close to NFL teams because how would it look? I mean, Las Vegas couldn't have a franchise. Well, that would look terrible, And now the NFL is all in on gambling, so it's just not a good look at all, and it's hurting the game.
It is. I don't know what the remedy is until they start calling out the refs. Adrian Ricardo, thank you for this $4.99 super chat. Says, has the offensive play calling fallen off? The last 2 weeks have been blah.
Yeah. I have not seen a lot of imagination. I think Josh Grizzard is again, no Mike, no Chris, no Bucky, no Gedeke, no Malk. And no Jalen McMillan. That's what 5 or 6 players that that when you're putting all this stuff together and you're scheming and dreaming of what it's supposed to look like, you're missing at least half of the bodies that you expected to have. Plus, Baker's banged up, and everybody's banged up now.
That's kind of what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's a combination of a couple of things. Grizzard certainly deserves some of the blame. I think Baker being injured definitely doesn't help because he doesn't have the full range of what he can do. And then all the injuries you just mentioned as well. So it's a lot of moving parts. It's not just one guy, but the bottom line is that it needs to get better, especially when they play these really good teams. You can get by with it against the Saints, but the 3 next games that we were talking about, you're not going to get by with it with those performances. And the Bucs aren't going to allow 3 points every game.
Yep.
Brian Shucker, thank you for the $5.
Preach, Brian, preach.
Yes. Says, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, there was no whistle. There was no whistle. There was no effing whistle.
That's right.
Great comment. Thank you for the super
well
chat.
Said.
Ehi No, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, does Cohen get stopped on 7 straight plays from the 1?
I mean, Liam Cohen, with the exception of 4 games by Luke Gedeke, I mean, he had the entire starting offensive line for like all those games. I think Wirfs missed 1 start, right?
Yes.
He missed the Giants game.
Correct.
And he missed like half of the 49ers game.
Yes.
But outside of that, I mean, like he had all of his guys. So that makes a huge difference. When you're starting right side as a bunch of backups, I mean, that's 2 out of the 5. And I don't think Graham Barton's playing that well, and Tristan Wirfs just had an off day. I have never seen Tristan play as bad as he did today. 2 false starts, gave up a sack and a half and a strip to Chase Young. It was not a good look. And I'm sure Baker Mayfield is he can't wait to, that's not a good look right there.
No.
That's not a good look right there. Baker, we have all these pictures of Baker getting bashed and thrashed and everything, and that's not a good look. There's Tristan getting beat, so too many offensive linemen on the ground too. That's never a good sign.
No, not an ideal day for the offensive line on many accounts, whether it's pass blocking or, trying to get a yard, but
at the end of the day, you don't apologize for winning. It wasn't pretty on offense. You put up enough points to win. And they mission accomplished. 6-2. The bye week is here. You better believe Todd Bowles is going to give these guys a ton of rest this week.
For sure, they need it.
Yeah.
But I mean, moral of the story: they beat the Saints by 20 points. They won 23-3. They're 6-2. Despite some of the issues on this team, the Bucs are in a really good spot. So I think Bucs fans should be happy about that.
Yeah,
they are certainly a contender, whether it's Super Bowl or a conference championship game. I think we'll know a little bit more about that after the next 3 games they play after the bye. So before we get out of here, we also got to give a shout out to our Pewter Platinum members. So
that's right.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
To Scott Federico, Scotty J, Raythel Gordon, Noah Parr, Dave Anderson, Eric McMillan, Hezo813, Ash Fishpool, Joel Elrican, Sam, John Dale Morris, Zap Brannigan, RP89, Connor Four Reels, Kevin Thomas, Mario Thomas, Leighton Carter, Brandon, Riley, The Guy is Gifted, Alec Bickler, Nick Dubuque, Dominic Tarantino, HK Bucks, The Real, Maverick, Brayon Pinkney, Brian Shucker, Black Gold 1999, Steven Zool, King James 813, and Brian Green. Thank you all so much for your support of PewterReport.com. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and we've had a tremendous amount of signups. We had a couple more signups during the Pewter pregame show for our Pewter Report TV YouTube channel membership program, and you can show your support for Pewter Report by becoming a channel member. We're bumping 200 right now, so we're excited about that. Thank you all for supporting this channel. In case you don't know, what the money that we raise from our YouTube channel goes towards is our travel budget, sending people on road trips. We all go to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama in the offseason. We all go to the Indianapolis Scouting Combine as well, and the NFL Owners Meeting. We send we went to Jacksonville a couple years ago for the Bucs preseason game and joint practices. Matt and Adam went to Pittsburgh. So it's all funded because of you guys, and this is how you can help us. Pewter People memberships $3.99, Pewter Pro memberships $6.99, Pewter Premier and Pewter Platinum members, you get the extra bonus podcast, the Pewter Insider podcast that Matt and I do every Friday. We won't have one this Friday though, because we're taking a little bit of time off for us. But the Pewter Insider will return the next Friday before the Patriots game. So we greatly appreciate everybody helping us out with our Pewter Report TV channel memberships. Find the membership level that fits your budget. Everybody gets custom emojis and those loyalty badges. We greatly appreciate it. You can see the different perks there. If you want to join, all you have to do is go to Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel, hit join, and all those options will pull up and find the best one. We also want you to hit subscribe because we're on our way to 22,000. It's free to subscribe, but all you have to do is hit subscribe on Pewter Report TV. You're on the way to 22,000 subscribers. Thanks to you.
Yes, appreciate each and every one of you for watching us and chatting with us today. It's been a fun episode. We let some stuff off our chests. We celebrated a Bucs win.
Yep.
It was a good time. It was a good time tonight. And the Bucs won, which is awesome as well. So that's going to do it for us on today's show. If you're not already doing so, please make sure you're following us on all of our social media on X, Facebook, and Instagram. We're at Pewter Report. And our YouTube channel is Pewter Report TV. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment on this video how you're feeling after the Bucs defeated their heated rival, the New Orleans Saints, by a score of 23-3. All right. For Scott Reynolds, I'm Matt Matera saying thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you soon for another edition of the Pewter Report podcast. Out.